Welcome to Project Pack number 12. This is the 12th and last day.
Wow.
My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I can't believe it's 12
know,
already.
I know.
What happened to my finger?
Fingers.
I had a pretty bad day that day, I think, and I apologize to everybody that you have to look at my Band-Aids, but I was aggressive in the kitchen. But no mistakes, right?
No mistakes.
Anyway, I'm starting out this tile right with a pen. I have a black pen, black 01, and I put an arc there that's pretty much like the shape of my thumb in size.
With the Band-Aid.
With the Band-Aid, yeah. And putting these little corner not ovals, what is it, like a marquee?
Seed shapes.
Seed shape. And what we're doing is the beginning of a tangle called Me Too, M-I with a 2. And it's a tangle from Mimi Lempart early on. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that
This is
this tangle changed the way we thought about
Yeah.
doing things. And it was a pivotal moment when we saw this.
It's so
And
simple, and it's a magic trick.
it's a magic trick. It's a real magic trick because it looks like nothing. It's right there. You know, what's the big deal?
And it's just curves. It's actually like two curves back and forth
right.
that hook
Right.
up.
So these series of things here, when Mimi does it, there's many lines of that go together. So this is a little bit different in that we're just using one line of Me Too. But I'm going to take it in a direction that hopefully will be interesting to you. So we coloring in these nice black. Ooh, it's already looking beautiful, right?
So already you get the trompe l'oeil impossibility of it going in and on itself.
I'm adding a little love here, tightening up those lines. I'm going with my brown 01, and we're going to aura around this, but watch, there's a very specific way to aura this. So we're going to start on the inside and go to around the outside of the curve. So you saw around the outside, and we're going to be auraing the outsides of the curves. So here again, we're going to go to the outside of the curve. Taking time, turning your tile to accommodate your hand.
Right, so the ends go underneath, so to speak.
Outside of the curve. You can also turn your tile if you'd rather.
Yeah, so this is like a puzzle. Do I turn my tile and then have it under my pen,
Yeah.
or have it this way and see what I'm
So that you
auraing?
could see what I'm doing. And then with that last one, we're just going to loop around. There we go. Okay, it's already starting to look interesting. Right?
Yes.
So with the brown pen, I'm going to start where the brown line is. Okay, so there's two lines popping out there, and we're going to do like a muka frond here. So you start by elongating, that's the brown line there, see? We're going to start there, go up and around, create a muka. Take your time. And then we're going to end up catching up with the other lines. See? So now it makes it look like it's a continuation of that pattern.
So far we're doing aura and hollabaugh.
Right.
And this is a really sophisticated application. And those are the first two tangles we teach in every introductory class.
Okay, so you're starting with the brown line and then coming back and catching up and meeting up with that rice shape. This one you really want to turn your tile with. Starting with the brown line.
That's a crazy effect.
I know.
And just let it take you where it wants to go, those fronds.
I'm kind of working with the curves that are there for the most part. So take your time, stop the video, take your time, or look at it again. I decided to give these mukas some little bit of a
What did
new
we
look.
called it? We're going to give it a cape. We're calling them capes.
I'm not so sure. We didn't really check. I'm not sure if people have done this before, but I think that this is kind of fun. So we do like this curved line, wiggly line that starts at the tip of the muka and goes down to the stem. And then we're going to extend these lines in a very specific angle that point to the base of the stem.
Like right where it comes out.
And so it gives you this ruffly effect. So watch this again. Watch it 50 times before you do it. So watch it. It's a very, you just do the curves that fit there. And then match up the edges. The inside edges go to the stem, and then the outside edges just stop where it has to stop.
Right. And always pointing toward the base, sort of.
Right.
Ish.
Again, watch this over and over until you have it set in your mind. It's such a neat look, something a little new to do.
And you can squish them in there.
Yeah, squish them. That's good.
Right?
So you can see my angle of my pen here.
This is fun.
So the inside ones go to the stem. The outside ones stop where you can't go any further. Oh, they look
Right.
like they're so excited to be out in the breeze. They have fancy dresses on or whatever.
And so, as usual, rotate your tile so it's comfortable, and then just go around and do each one. Really looks nice.
So where I had room, I just expanded it as much as I could. It's almost dragon-like too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it has this real sense of motion and delicateness. I like it.
Okay, so we have all our capes on our mukas. I don't know what we're going to call this,
Right.
but at some point we'll elaborate. Oh, I'm going to put another one in there just for fun's sake.
And that's like when you look at your tile, it's like, this space needs something. So if it does, well, these grow anywhere.
And some have tiny little capes.
And just look at your tile, turn it this way and that, and wait until it's like speaks and says, okay, put one here.
Me.
And it looks like there's a lot going on, but it gets really nice when you go in and shade these. Pretty cool. Maybe one more? Yeah. And I'm guessing you can play with this caping with lots of tangles.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
yeah.
It's not just muka that gets the finery.
So now I'm going to go back and do another aura. Remember that original aura? And this is still with my brown pen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to aura around that first one, back and forth, just like we did. But when we come to the muka fronds, we're going to just go behind them.
Right. And sort of the same width here. You don't have to do the same width, but in this case, pretty much the same width of the aura.
So on the other side, same thing.
Sort of fun to find. Okay, where would it go, and over and under. And if there's space or not, you'll see how Maria makes it work.
So I'm doing it one more time.
So see, she just goes under one if it came to the edge there.
Mm-hmm. Again, turn off your computer and follow along that way sometimes, or watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and then go back
and then go
with
back
a reference.
and follow it. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is, well, like any tangle, it's like it builds on itself, and it gets really, really, wow, how did you get there? But each step was really simple.
It's getting there.
Yeah. But wait.
There's more. So with your brown chalk pencil, we're just going to color in the insides of those that cape, where it touches the stem, the mucus stem, and leave those little other parts white or
Unfilled.
Unfilled.
Right. So now you're getting that sense of form as instead of just line work.
And this will calm down too when you soften it with the tortillon. It's just going to give it a little bit of character.
Take your time. Sharpen your chalk if you need to. And I think you have, or there's the large graphic sharpener, which is really good for the angle of these chalk pencils. And in this case, Maria's holding it at a higher angle because really sort of like filling in those very precise shapes. Nice.
So you can see it lightens it up. It's not as...
Well, it takes out the individual pencil strokes, and it just becomes this really nice, smooth, right?
Right, and you can detail it in a little bit more.
Right, push it out to the edge and... Really, it's like frosting a cake.
I know. If I liked frosting on cakes.
If you like frosting.
I'm not a big sweet eater.
Well, it's like frosting is different than eating it, right?
Right,
It's
right.
Frosting it is fun.
Frosting is the art part.
Right.
Right. So now I'm going to go into the structure, that original structure around the black shapes, and give that a little bit of brown pen where it's coming off the muka.
It's like you're doing it on the part that's going under.
Right, right. So you get that right there.
Again, that's an impossibility, but I love that. The idea that it's going in but coming out, and then it's on the other side, and very, very fascinating.
So we're going to be doing some really aggressive shading, probably more than you think is humanly possible. So with my pencil right now, the graphic pencil, I am going to add graphite between the two black shapes. You don't have to actually draw on the black, but I am going just about as dark as I can right there. And we're going to be, we're drawing shading between the two black on the inside of the curve.
Right. So we'll come back, or Maria will come back later and smooth that out, or tape, soften the edge. Just really putting down a lot of graphite here.
And now I turn my tile and I'm doing it on the other side. And it seems like it's too much, but wait till you soften this and you see this come to life like a Renaissance painting, really, if you think about it. It has that sort of look with the browns and the blacks and oh my God, look at that. Looks like it's gonna it's cut in half, or
it really is three-dimensional. And this part of the process, think of the word invite. You're inviting the graphite to move on the paper instead of pushing it or forcing it. Isn't that nice? Wow.
So now with the magic white chalk pencil, I'm going in on the on that first aura there that we put down initially, and highlighting where it's above. It's above the pencil, right?
And it's right next to it, so it really increases the contrast.
But it's just sort of in the middle. You don't need to go all the way.
Right.
We're gonna blend that. And again, it looks too severe at this point, but you have to learn what happens to it,
Right, and that's a really good point in all of these processes, is to just keep working with the steps and avoid making value judgments as you're partway there. I know it's often, I'll see when I first painted my first wall, I had an apartment and painted the wall, and as it was part way dried, it looks like, oh, this is terrible. And then once it finished drying, it really looked good.
So now I have my, I actually had a couple of white chalk pencils ready to go here. I sharpened them nice and sharp as I could, and we're going to color the whole background, all that tan, the background of behind the mukas.
And their capes.
I'm working in sort of a curlicue kind of thing, and making it part of the texture. I don't want to cover it solid white. I want some of that tan Renaissance paper to come through, give it a texture, character.
Right, like almost a rough stucco.
Yep. So now I'm bringing some of that tan back so that you can see it's a stucco-y kind of look. You can see I'm brushing off the excess
It pulls up the fibers a little bit now and then.
Oh, look at that. So now with my brown chalk pencil, I'm going to go around the tile.
On the outer edges there. At a low angle. And it looks so severe, but watch what happens when she puts does the tortillon. It's really very cool.
So again, in a kind of a curvy, circular motion, inviting it into the background a little bit.
So now the chalks are mixing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's got that antique feel to it, like, oh, we found this in the notebook of some wonderful artist and their sketchbook.
It's subtle. You have to go along with all the subtle details. That's what makes the composition sing.
And like Maria said earlier, you can always go back in and add more chalk or graphite.
Or take it away by just
or
blending
take it away,
yeah.
right? Sort of like a chalk version of restating the line. I like how you keep finding another place to just go give it a little touch.
So with the graphite pencil, I'm going to color in that last aura that we put down, so the furthest out from the center. So we give some gradations here.
And again, so now you've got a little bit more darkness against a little bit more lightness, so it even pops even more.
Go back with your tortillon, soften it up.
And particularly with the graphite, the tortillon keeps it, so you can, put it down elsewhere with the graphite that's on the tortillon.
So to me, this almost looked like it's carved into plaster, and the different degrees of how deep it is. Okay, I'm going to go in and do some detailed drawing, like Rick talked about yesterday, on his wings.
Right.
And I like to do this. It's like my favorite part is just, adding the love at the end and just tidying up things that sort of get out of hand, or get a little unruly.
Well, it sharpens the edge and increases the contrast. And you don't even know why. It's like it brings it into focus a bit, right?
So I'm going to do this really simple tangle in the background. And I call it therefore, because the 3 dots in mathematics it's a symbol for that in proofing, right? In proofs is therefore. So we're going to put these simple little dots all over the background. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm going to show you a trick after that. But it adds this old world look to it, doesn't it? Like in the back of a manuscript or something, because they would do things like that, just an all over background.
Yeah,
so once you get your little 3 dot therefores in there, then you go through and add single dots in where there's space where you think that it's off balance. So you can go in and just add a single dot here and there. Isn't that funny? You don't even realize it. But
that's cool.
Right? I used to do this all the time in my manuscript work.
And it creates its own little texture.
Right.
Fun.
Isn't that pretty? It's very classic, right? Classical. And this is my black pen. I'm just ordering, putting in a few little detailed pieces to add some dark on the end of those mukas.
Like in the little bit of rounding there and that,
Right.
where
Just
they
a little
curve
bit.
over. Neat.
I love this piece. I did it, 6 times? I did it one whole time and the camera was off.
And then another time and it was out of focus. And
Oh,
so,
gosh. I'm going to show you all the different versions of what
what
I
was
did.
funny is when she finished what she thought was the final one, it was like, oh, I made it all the way through and my nails and my fingers. And then
Oh, gosh. So, here's my
Beautiful.
finished piece. Oh,
Almost
no, I was
finished
going to
piece.
put a little gold in, that's right. Just a little tiny bit of gold. I don't think it needed much. So that one aura in the middle, we did the white band and we did the graphite band, and this band is going to be gold. And it's hard to see on the camera, but it looked really pretty in real life. So when you're doing it, it's just a little bit of a sparkle.
So this is a nice contrast like to the one I did yesterday, because you can just do, sometimes just a little touch of gold can
Right.
be more impactful than this whole wide expanse.
I thought this was a very exciting tile. I loved doing it. I didn't even mind doing it over and over and over.
Again.
But
Right.
what I ended up doing is I did it differently each time. So because
Right. Well, you get to see them all.
So
shortly.
you'll get to see all the different versions.
Fun. And of course the chop. The rising M.
Mm-hmm.
And then sign on the back. And sometimes when we teach tangles, we'll tell people what the names of them are. And we always encourage them to put it on the back of the tile instead of the front, because the front is almost, just reserved for patterns.
So there's Me Too, Mimi Lempart, and there's Muka for Alphonse Muka, and then the Therefore, the three
Therefore,
dots.
yeah.
I put an E at the end. Is there an E on the end of Therefore?
We'll have to look it up.
I know. Apologies. Or
Yeah,
Therefore,
I think
it's this
therefore
way.
it's this way on this tile, right? There you go.
Okay, so that's one of them.
That's one of them. I think you got a couple more on this, right? Yeah.
So here's one, and I had added some other pearls that made it a little gaudier, like Gaudi, right?
Gaudia.
And
Pull chain.
pull chains like that. It's like that's called something. What are
Right.
those chains called? Bead ball?
Right?
Bead ball chain. So one of them has the bead ball and the Therefore, and therefore it's
Therefore,
pretty busy.
We really want to thank you for spending this time with us. These 12 days have been so special, and we're going to do a little wrap-up video that is on this same day. So
See you in a few minutes.
see you in a few minutes, and please post your tiles and share them, and thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Have great holidays, whatever you do.
Bye now.
Bye.